Good morning. You know, I've been just sort of meditating on this place in the Bible and this person and this story. The person is Mary. Well, you know, the person is Jesus. And this Monday morning, as you go into this week, as you go into this day, think about that person, the person of Jesus. You know, this Mary Magdalene, who sat at the feet of Jesus and listened to him teach, and she learned from him, and she fell in love with his teaching, with his word, and he is the word. And so she fell in love with him just like we do when we listen to the words of Jesus, when we read the words of Jesus. She didn't have the words of Jesus in writing like we do, but we fall in love with this man, with this God who became man and offered up his life, his breath, his blood for us so that we could come near. We love him because he first loved us. He fell in love with us the day that he blew his breath over creation and spoke his word into being. He fell in love with us. And we love him because he first loved us. And so we fell in love with him, and I watched this story of Mary unfold, and her brother Lazarus was dead and in the tomb for 4 days. Jesus was away, and he came back into town, and he said, you know, I am the resurrection and the life. I am the resurrection. It's what he told Martha when she was like, Jesus, where were you? And yeah, I believe my brother is going to be raised in the resurrection way down the line. And Jesus said, I am the resurrection. And you know, 4 days in the tomb, and Jesus said, roll away the stone. And Mary was there just watching the whole thing. Just watching the whole thing. And they rolled away the stone. And Jesus said, Lazarus, come out. And at the door of the tomb, at the door of the end, at the door of death, at the door of ain't nothing left. Nothing left. Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? And it was not long after that that the same Mary stood in the same heart place at a tomb. But this tomb held Jesus, the one who she sat at his feet and listened to him teach, the one who she loved, the one who she poured oil upon. All of her life savings she poured out on him. Costly perfume. the one who she watched be crucified and die and buried. This same Mary stood at the door of this tomb, remembering everything that she had seen and been told. But it was the one who told her that if you believe, you will see the glory of God, who was dead and buried. And this Mary, when the disciples went back to their homes, it says in John 20th, then the disciples went back to where they were staying. But Mary stood outside the tomb crying. And you know, when Mary's brother died, she cried, Jesus, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. And in John 11, Jesus wept. Her tears of such strong belief in him moved him to compassion. And in John 11, Jesus marched straight to that tomb and said, roll back the stone. Didn't I tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? And just short days later, a couple of weeks later, Mary's at the tomb of Jesus, remembering all these things. The disciples went back to where they were staying, and Mary, because she remembered that Jesus said, didn't I tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? In Jeremiah, it says that God is not a man that he should lie. He's a man of his word. And there was Mary at the door of the tomb where Jesus' dead body was placed, and she stayed when everyone else went. And Mary got to see the glory of the Lord. She looked into that tomb because the stone had already been rolled away, and she saw angels. One at the head and one at the foot, and they said to her, who are you looking for? And Mary is still blown away by the whole idea that this tomb is empty. I'm looking for my Lord, my Jesus. Where have you put him? So I might go and get him. And then Jesus said, he's alive. Who are you looking for? And Mary thought he was the gardener. She didn't recognize him yet, but she loved him. And all Jesus had to say was one word, her name. And she ran to him, teacher. She believed, and she saw the glory of God. So what is your place of the tomb today? What have you believed until the end for? But you haven't seen it. What are you still believing for? Last week in my imagination, I saw myself giving a tiny little gift to Jesus. And when I gave it to him, if you believe, when I gave it to him, this tiny little gift, he received it, and it was so big, still wrapped in the same wrapping paper with the same little red bow. Why, it was huge. If you believe, you will see the glory of God. What we think is our little tiny gift, he receives as gigantic. And he was so pleased that he gave a gift back to me, and it was so huge that it knocked me down. I hit the ground, stuck underneath that gift. And it made the funniest noise when I hit the ground. It was like, his kiss was on that truth. Are you at the end today? Are you at the door that's marked the end? That's what the door of a tomb is. It's marked the end. But if you believe, you will see the glory of God. Are you believing for the generations of your family to follow Jesus? That your little belief, when you give it to Jesus, it's huge, and he hands it back to you, and it's so big it knocks you down. Ephesians 3:20. He will do immeasurably more than all we could ask or imagine. Are you believing for health and healing? That little gift of faith that we give to him, it's so big when he receives it, because he sees our love and he sees our belief. He sees that this is hard, y'all. He sees that it looks impossible. But if you believe, you will see the glory of God, and he hands us back our gift, and it blows us over. It's so big. It's so big. What are you believing for? Your choice to not walk away from that end place, the door that's marked the end, the tombstone. Your choice to not walk away from that will bring you a new intimacy with God. He said Mary's name, Mary, and she recognized him. Because you persevere, because you wait there, you will see the glory of God, and that intimate moment others miss because they go away. You're not going to miss that. It's going to be for you. And I know I'm a little long this morning, but I want you to hear me when I say to you, he is a man of his word. And that little thing that you've been believing for, that you gave to him, you said, here's my gift of belief. He receives it as huge, huge. And when he hands it back to you, it's so big. The glory of the gift that he's holding on to for you with such, like surprise. He gives it back to you. It's so big. If you believe, you will see the glory of God, and he is able to do immeasurably more than all you could ask or imagine. So whatever it is that you are waiting on today, believing for today, you have not left the door that's marked the end, because you believe that you will see the glory of God. I am telling you that the end is the beginning. New oil, new wine, a new season, beautiful gift, straight from the hands of Jesus, and with it is a kiss of intimacy, a kiss of that treasured word just from his heart to yours. That one that you hold so dearly that you really don't even tell anyone else, because it's that intimate from him. He loves you, and he is a man of his word. He doesn't lie. It's going to be a great day.